Welcome back to the RELOS channel. I'm Charles Black, and today we're diving deep into one of the most practical and immediately useful components of RELOS, the Showings Tracker. But before we jump into the walkthrough, I want to address something fundamental that James Clear emphasizes in Atomic Habits, and is crucial to understand as we build your RELOS system together. Clear teaches us that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. Most agents set ambitious sales goals but operate with chaotic daily processes that virtually guarantee they'll never reach them. That's exactly why Relos is built around systematic approaches to every aspect of your business. Throughout this video series, I'm going to show you both the system and the process. Let me explain the difference. In simple terms, a system is the what, and a process is the how. A system is a collection of interconnected parts that work together to achieve an overall goal. Think of it as the big picture. A process is the series of steps or actions you take to achieve specific outcomes within the system. For example, your car is a system designed for transportation. It includes the engine, wheels, steering, and brakes all working together. But to make the car move, you follow a process. Unlock the car, get in, start the engine, put it in gear, and press the accelerator. In today's video, the Showings Tracker template is the system. It's the structure that captures, organizes, and displays all your showing data. But I'm also going to show you the process, the specific workflow I use with tools and email templates to turn each showing into meaningful client communication and follow-up. The tools I use to execute this process include Text Expander for canned responses, ChatGPT for content creation, and Morgen Calendar, which integrates with Google Calendar. I'll include links to all of these in the show notes below. While most aren't mandatory, they absolutely make your life easier and your process more systematic. This approach aligns perfectly with James Clear's philosophy. We're not just creating a place to store information, we're building habits and systems that make the right behaviors easier than the wrong ones. Now, while the Showings Tracker is accessible from the dashboard, I actually spend most of my time each day in the action board. That's where things happen and where I move the needle forward in my business every day. The action board is where action takes place, and that's where I'm going to access the Showing Tracker from today. Before we dive in, let me give you a quick Notion overview for those who haven't used it before. Notion is built around two main concepts: pages and databases. Think of pages like documents and databases like supercharged spreadsheets that can store any type of information. The real power of Notion lies in properties. These are the customizable fields that make up your database. Unlike a regular spreadsheet where you're limited to basic text and numbers, Notion properties can be dates with times, drop-down selects, checkboxes, relations to other databases, and much more. This flexibility means no two RELOS systems will be the same. You'll customize it to fit your specific workflow. Databases also have views, which use filters and sorts to show you exactly the data you need to see when you need to see it. Think of views like different lenses for looking at the same information. One view might show all your showings, another might show only today's appointments, and another might show only hot prospects. Let me walk you through what the tracker looks like and how it's organized. Right now, we're looking at the All view, which shows every single property in this database. Keep in mind, this is not to be consumer-facing, it's simply for you and your operations team. Now let me walk you through each property. Showing date. When we get a new showing, we simply select the date and toggle Include Time to add the specific time. This syncs with Morgen Calendar, so as soon as you finish this entry, it populates your calendar with the showing details. Status. This is whether it's scheduled, completed, or canceled. Agent, broker, client detail. This is what appears on your calendar, and the formatting is intentional. I always write showing in all caps, followed by a vertical pipe, then ideally agent name, broker in parentheses with buyer names. This helps me when I'm glancing at my calendar. I can instantly identify which events are showings versus other appointments, and I have all the key details at a glance. I use silver gray for anything seller or listing related, and blue for buyers. This lets you quickly scan and identify which showings are for which type of client. You'll see this color coding system used consistently throughout RELOS. It's one of the design principles that makes the entire system intuitive to use. Showing type: private showing, open house, preview with an agent only, perhaps it's a second showing, third showing, etc. This helps with our weekly client updates so your client always knows how many opens you've held and how many times you've shown their property. In play status: this is crucial for your follow-up strategy. Yes means they're still interested. Our goal here is to stay on top of them and convert them into a written offer. Maybe means the agent isn't responding or they're undecided, but they're still on our hot list. Again, we want to convert these to offers. No means they decided against it, but this is still valuable because our goal is to find out why it's a no and log that feedback so we can learn, improve, and pivot our strategy if necessary. Sometimes patterns in the no feedback reveal pricing issues or property concerns we can address. The post-showing summary: my notes from conversations with the agent and/or buyers immediately after the showing. Here's something critical. During showings, your job is to be present and listen, not to sell or feature dump. I cannot tell you how many times prospective buyers or their agents have literally shown me their cards, sharing information about their motivations, timeline, competing properties, or budget constraints. This intelligence has put me and my sellers in positions of strength that sometimes led to hundreds of thousands of dollars more in my sellers' pockets, simply because I listened instead of talked. Follow-up feedback: information gathered exactly 2 days after the showing. I set this timing intentionally. When listing agents follow up immediately after a showing, they seem desperate and the power shifts to the buyers. 2 days later gives them time to think, but it lets them and my clients know that I'm professional and persistent. Client type: seller, buyer, landlord, or renter. The duration property: this is important for accurate calendar blocking. 0.5 means a 30-minute showing. 0.75 means 45 minutes. Morgen Calendar actually has a travel time feature that automatically blocks time before and after events based on their location. So having an accurate duration estimate will ultimately make for a more productive and efficient day. No more double booking or rushing between appointments. The properties property: this links to our properties database using what's called a Notion relation property. For those new to Notion, a relation property creates a connection between two databases. Think of it like a bridge that lets information flow both ways. This is incredibly powerful because it means when we update information in the properties database, it can automatically appear here in the Showings Tracker and vice versa. This connection is what makes RELOS truly systematic. All your data is interconnected, eliminating duplicate entry and ensuring nothing falls through the cracks. Now let's talk about views and filters, where the power of Notion comes into play. We can filter and sort this data in multiple ways. Seller actives: this shows only seller landlord showings where in play is yes. These are my active prospects that I need to focus on. Buyer actives: same concept for buyer showings and their favorite properties. Property groups: organizes everything by address so you can see all showings for a specific property. Now let me show you how quick it is to create a new showing entry. Say I have a new showing for a seller listing. I enter the showing date and then toggle the include time switch. As I mentioned, for the agent client details, I always start the entry with showing in all caps, so when I glance at my calendar for the week, I can easily see where I have showings. I enter the agent name, brokerage, and client name. For this particular listing, I think it's going to take about half an hour, so I set the duration to 0.5. And then as always, I set the follow-up reminder for 2 days later at 9 a.m. Finally, I set that the status is scheduled and yes, it is still in play, and then I relate it to the appropriate property. That entry immediately appears in all relevant views and syncs to my calendar. Now let's talk about the process, how I actually use this system after each showing. After completing a showing, I go to ChatGPT and use my text expander shortcut, XSP, which is my abbreviation for showing prompt. This pulls up my pre-written prompt that says, I'm a real estate agent writing a post-showing summary for my clients. Please rewrite the following unstructured notes into a clear, well-structured, conversational yet professional email that reflects my voice, analytical, warm, and trustworthy. The tone should be informative and honest while avoiding unnecessary fluff or salesy language. Then I add my raw notes. For example, this was a great couple from Canada. Both are doctors relocating to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. They have an 8-year-old boy and a 10-year-old daughter. They want Beverly Hills School District, but close to the hospital. They love the bones and character of the home, but think it might be too much work for them. With a brand new move, new job, and young kids, it might be more of a project than they're willing to handle right now. Chat then rewrites this into a polished, professional language that I then copy into the post-showing summary field in our tracker. Next, I use another text expander shortcut, XSS, my abbreviation for showing summary, which creates a complete email template. Hello, client name. I want to provide you with a quick recap of today's showing with agent name from brokerage. Then the AI generated summary goes here, and then it closes with, as always, I will check in with the buyer's agent in 2 days if I haven't heard from them by then to get feedback or see if they have any questions. As always, a detailed summary of this showing and any developments will be included in your weekly client update this Friday. Exactly 2 days later, triggered by my Notion reminder, I use text expander shortcut XFU, my abbreviation for follow-up, to send this message to the agent. Hi, agent name. Want to follow up on the showing at property address. My sellers and I would appreciate any feedback from you and your clients. Additionally, if there's anything more you need to help with their decision, please let me know. You'll notice how quickly the property address populates. That's because I use text expander snippets for every listing address. In an upcoming video about the seller workflow, I'll show you how creating these address snippets is part of my listing setup process. Once I create the snippet, I never have to manually type the address again, which is crucial because I've seen other agents accidentally transpose or reverse digits in addresses, leading to some really unfortunate situations. Missed showings, confused buyers, even legal issues. Text Expander eliminates that risk entirely. When I get their response, I reply to all on the original post-showing summary email. I provide the update, and then I input the feedback into the follow-up feedback field in Notion, updating the in-play status accordingly. Now this is where the magic happens. The Showings Tracker connects to our properties database and our weekly client update system. Every Friday, my clients get a comprehensive report showing a weekly summary, market and mortgage rate updates, neighborhood activity and analysis, relevant real estate news headlines, all showings for the week, as well as the feedback, and sales, marketing, and operations tasks and initiatives. This systematic approach ensures nothing falls through the cracks. Clients feel informed and valued, and I can identify patterns and feedback that might indicate pricing or property condition issues. And here's what I love the most. There's very little thinking required in the process. The reminders are automatic, the templates are pre-written, and the follow-up is systematic. My clients always know what's happening, and I never miss a follow-up opportunity. You can download the Showings Tracker template completely free by clicking the link in the notes below. It's immediately usable even if you don't have the other RELOS components yet. But here's what's coming next. Tomorrow, I'll be publishing a walkthrough of the weekly client update system, and the following day will be the properties database. These two additional components, along with the Showings Tracker, work together to create a comprehensive client communication and activity tracking system that will transform how you manage your listings and buyer relationships. The properties database feeds addresses into the Showings Tracker. The Showings Tracker feeds activity into the weekly client update, and the weekly client update becomes your systematic client touchpoint that keeps you top of mind and demonstrates your professionalism. As my real estate coach, Garrett Fry, always reminds me, the weekly client update does not take the place of your weekly customer service call. It just allows me to be better prepared for that call while simultaneously showing my clients my professionalism and educating them as well. which ultimately helps them make more informed decisions about the direction of how we position their home in the market. And remember, extraordinary results don't require extraordinary effort when you have extraordinary systems. The Showings Tracker is one piece of that extraordinary system. Download it today, start using it with your next showing, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll build on this foundation. If this was helpful, hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments what your biggest challenge is with tracking and following up on showings. I read every comment and often create new systems based on your specific needs. Thanks for watching, and let's continue building your RELOS system together.